Alright, sorry about that. My phone actually was getting too hot. It's a hot day, and then it overheated and stopped the recording. So anyways, we're gonna continue cleaning off the sticky residue here. I'm gonna use the paper towel again. And we're just gonna go along and try and wipe off the residue here. Okay. This residue's, I don't know, it's somewhat of a pain to remove. You can go down the side here and scrape this stuff up to get it started. It's a little bit tricky because of the hinges here that are slightly raised too. But let me at least agitate the adhesive here, so when I put the rubbing alcohol, it will make it easier to come off. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get another Q-tip. Again, I might need like a syringe or something to make this easier. But let's go ahead and lift this thing up. Alright, hopefully I can keep this in view of the camera. It's hard for me to pay attention to what I'm doing on screen or on my camera while I'm trying to see what I'm doing in person. I need to get, let me actually get a box to raise this up a little bit. Actually, the packaging, we damaged it, so let's actually I'll use this box here. Hopefully this is tall enough. Okay, that works, kind of. Be easier if it wasn't so warm today, because then the rubbing alcohol wouldn't evaporate so much. But we're doing what we can. Okay, let's switch over to the other side of the Q-tip. I need a bigger box. Let me actually, this will probably work better. Actually, I'll just use both boxes. That will probably work best. Here we go. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Let's continue scraping this stuff up, getting the rubbing alcohol in there. Okay. Alright, let's get another Q-tip. You know, there's a very long process, guys. Mainly because I'm trying to clean it up, make it so that the new adhesive will stick really well. Okay, I don't want the screen to start peeling up when the customer gets it back. It's coming up pretty well. Let's get some more rubbing alcohol in here. Most of it's coming up. Hopefully you guys are able to see everything I'm doing. Another new Q-tip. Man, this is going to take a lot of Q-tips. Start working the opposite direction. Let's start from this side now. Work our way down. Most of it's out. Some more rubbing alcohol. There. Okay. So that's gone. I am going to have to glue that a little bit. More still stuck up here. For the most part, we're good. I'm going to clean up the rest of this with paper towel and rubbing alcohol. Then anything remaining should be okay. Okay, should be good to go. I'm going to clean off the rest with some paper towel and rubbing alcohol. Alright, we're just going to fold up a piece of paper towel, get a bunch of rubbing alcohol on it, Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and wipe up the edges here, just like this. Uh-oh, these rubber pieces are all coming out. So it's out. Let's go ahead and get the other side with rubbing alcohol. Continue cleaning off this stuff. Okay. Looks good. Okay. Alright, most of that's gone, so let's go ahead and put the new double-sided adhesive and put the screen in and see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to set the boxes aside. Man, I got all this adhesive stuck to my fingers, so I'm going to try and clean it off first. Okay. Alright, let's set these things aside. Okay. All of that. Let's go ahead and get this. Oops, let's zoom out so you can see better. Get this connector out of there. Alright, so we're going to get this connector up and out, this connector up and out. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is find some adhesive that fits this gap. Looks to be about 2 or 3 millimeters. I think this one is too thick, but we can use it on the top area here. So I'm just going to get some and run it across. These little holes here don't really do anything, so you can actually cover those holes and it's okay. So what I'm going to do, my scissors. Again, you don't need to perfectly seal all the way around the screen. Oh, let me also fix the rubber piece here. Wipe that excess off. You do want to remove any gunk that's inside this bezel though, because you don't want that to be sealed in with the screen. Okay. Alright, so we're going to get this adhesive here. And we're just going to get a rough idea. You don't need, again, you don't need it to cover completely. just enough so that when you stick the thing back down, it'll hold it in place tight. Let's see, I'm going to put it this way so I get a better view. Actually, even this adhesive I have is a little bit too wide, I think. Actually, okay, it fits perfectly. So I'll get that in there. I'll put a piece across the top here. Again, it's not critical that you get it completely covering, it's more just to keep it from falling out of the frame. Okay, just like that. We're gonna leave this red stuff on here. We're not gonna peel it out yet. Let's go ahead and grab the screen and just see how it's gonna fit in there. So you can see it's gonna go like this. That's gonna go there. So I'm gonna put a little over the, I don't need this one here actually. If you want, you can actually peel that adhesive off there. But we're gonna put a little bit over each of the hinges there. Just like that. Okay, same thing with this side. Just like that. Okay. We're gonna peel this stuff off later, so right now we're just getting all of that in place. Now we need the thinner one. This one should be good for the entire length if we want. Okay. There's the end of this thing. Oh, here we go. Okay. So now we're going to actually put this for the entire length here. Not that much. Okay. Stick that on here. Run that up the edge. There we go. Okay. This adhesive is going to hold super strong. So you want to be very careful because once you set that down, you're not going to be able to lift it back up. Okay? Keep that in mind. So we're actually going to be testing the screen first before we peel off the adhesive here. Let it fit down there as well, okay. Sorry, my head's getting in the way, I know, but I need to see what I'm doing, so there we go. Alright. The bottom one just had like that stretch adhesive again, so the bottom is actually a lot less important, but we'll just put the adhesive anyways there. It doesn't need as strong of an adhesive at the bottom. Okay, because gravity is not going to really be pulling on the bottom, it's going to be pulling at the top, so let's go ahead and just get this lined up. Just like that. All right. So you got pretty much all the adhesive that we need. If you want, you can add a tiny bit more, but it should be good. All right, let's go ahead and get the replacement screen now. So we're gonna see it's gonna fit into this like here. Hopefully it's not bent in a way that's gonna prevent this from sitting in properly. Looks like it will fit okay. All right, so we're just test fitting first. Okay, now let's go ahead and lift this out. Okay. All right, so now we're going to connect the screen here. This might be the most difficult part. Let's see, we might have to use the boxes to do this. Let's go ahead and use this box to help raise the screen up this way. Okay, so this is going to curve around that way and plug in there. That might not work. Okay, I'm going to actually flatten out the hinges here. I'll bend them back later so that we can put it back after, because otherwise it's going to be too difficult. So let's put the box away. I think it will actually be easier this way. Okay, we're going to curl this cable over. We're going to have to use this to put it that way. Hold the plastic tab here. Let's zoom in a bit so you can kind of see better. Okay, get this cable lined up. If you can use that to kind of push it into place, but you're going to mainly use this to help pull that. Okay. Make sure that connector snapped in all the way. Okay, you actually will feel a slight click into place. So that's good. Let's go ahead and put this adhesive back down. All right, we're gonna slowly rotate this over. Then we're gonna try and get this cable back in there. Pull this cable back out here. All right, and then we're gonna pull this, make sure that connection is nice and tight. All right, now we can kind of slowly slide this into place. You want this to go underneath. Okay, you have to be careful with this adhesive there because it is going to stick to that. And slowly slide it down. Okay, let me zoom out. All right, so we're just slowly sliding this into place. Make sure all of this lines up. Looks good. Okay, get these side edges in. We're not gonna completely set this yet because we do have to peel up that red adhesive stuff or the protective layer. Okay, so we're just right now doing this to make it easier to get everything lined up. All right, everything looks lined up properly. So now what we're gonna do, same thing, bend the hinges back again, backwards. Okay, just like that. So we're gonna test this first. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna wrap some tape around the outside edges to hold it in place so it doesn't come back up. Let's actually peel up this clear layer real quick so it's not causing any issues with the touchscreen. Okay, set that out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna use some of this tape here. And we're just going to make some tabs to hold it in place. So what I do is I take the tape here like this. I'm going to fold over a piece of it like that. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half because I only need 2 pieces. Just like that. All right, then I'm going to stick a layer here within the frame so it's not going into the screen area. Okay, and then we're just going to wrap it over the back. Same thing with this one. Okay, piece of tape on there. Wrap it over the back. That way the screen won't fall out, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get the base of the laptop or the palm rest assembly. Okay, so it should be folding back this way, so we're gonna get this back into there. Okay, so get these all back in. This can be a little bit tricky. All right, just like that. All right. Make sure you don't crush the cable here for the headphone jack. I'm gonna have to open this up a little bit because I folded it back a little too far. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and get the screws for here, for the hinges. Oops, the rubber stuff is still coming up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get the screw in. I'm gonna just put one first. Okay, and we'll put one on the other side as well. So one went behind the screw and one went in front of the screw, I believe. All right, there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and fold the screen slowly back over. Just like that. All right, so let's go ahead and undo the screw. We're gonna add some of the red thread locker, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we got the red one here. All right, make sure the screen's all lined up. Shake this thing up. Pop it open. Okay, so we're gonna get the red thread locker. Just put a tiny bit on there. Okay, very little. I don't know if you can even see, just like that. Get the screw, tighten that into place. All right, same thing with the other side. Make sure that the alignment didn't change. It's kind of moving around a little bit. All right, again, just a little. Tighten that into place. All right, this will prevent these screws from coming loose again. The hinge mechanism was super loose. So, okay, get some more. Same thing with this one. Oops. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. Same thing with the last one. Okay, there we go. Put the lid back on. Tighten that into place. And there we go. We got that all back together. Let's go ahead and grab the motherboard. Okay, you want to be careful. Again, make sure that you're grounded. Okay, if you touch the thing and you have static, you can actually completely destroy your motherboard. So the hard part is getting these cables back in, so we're going to work on that first. I'm going to flip it upside down so it's easier for me. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to kind of try and do this at an angle. I think this cable is actually supposed to go behind the screw there. So to make it easier, we're going to start with it out like this. Okay, try and get this cable in. And this is the hardest part. So there we go. Get that all lined up. Flip that latch back in. I don't know, every part of this is the hardest part. Okay, so get that cable back over there. Probably heard me saying that over and over throughout this whole repair. This is the hardest part every time. Okay, get that cable back under. There we go. Perfect. All right, make sure all the cables end up back on top. So Got the SD card slot cable here. Make sure that's on top. Speaker cable here. Make sure that's on top. Gotta slightly rotate this over. Make sure that the headphone jack and the wireless antenna cables are on top. Okay, it's caught on here, so we gotta make sure, lift that over this metal piece. You don't wanna just force this over, you wanna work slowly here. Okay, it's falling in. Get the, what is this? I don't know where this plastic piece came from. We'll set that aside. If we need it, we'll see where it came from. It doesn't look like it's an electronic piece. Okay, get this out. Get the keyboard cable out, trackpad cable out. Okay, slowly get that back into place. Make sure to get the charge port connector back into place. Okay, line it up, pinch the two pieces together. Slowly get this to line up and drop into place properly. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and stick that back down. SD card slot, get that back into place. Line it up. Push that in, flip that latch down. All right, this looks like it's kind of caught, so kind of have to lift the middle up and then push this down a little bit. Okay, we have to be careful here, it's hitting something. There we go. Power button still works. All right, volume buttons still work. This volume button's a little bit far from it, but I'm gonna have to try and move that over a little bit. Oh, there we go. I think because the screws aren't in. Once we put the screws, it'll hopefully be a lot better. All right, let's zoom in so you can see better. Get this cable in. All right, keyboard backlight cable. If you can, grab the black or brown plastic tab and then get that in. All right, keyboard connector. Make sure it's cleaned off. Get that in, line it up. Come on, it keeps wanting to go a little bit crooked here. Get that in. Alright, get that in. There we go. Flip that latch down. Trackpad connector. Same thing. Get that lined up. Slowly and get this in. Tweezers might make this easier. This one's so difficult. Trackpad connector, there we go. This one's quite a bit difficult to get in. Flip that latch down. Hopefully it's in all the way. Feels like it. Alright, put this adhesive stuff back over. Alright, let's go ahead and put back all these screws. Wireless card. Get that lined up. Push it in at the angle. Make sure the wireless antenna is not trapped underneath. There we go. SD card. Sorry, not SD. Solid state drive SSD. Alright, let's go ahead and plug the antenna back in. Make sure it's lined up and then click it down. Other antenna, same thing. Line it up. Click it down. Okay, looks good. Alright, don't forget the audio jack here. Go. Flip that latch down. Okay. Now let's see here. How did we... Batteries. Did I mix up some of the screws? Okay, I think I got it. So those are the battery screws. So this one here. Make sure the board is all the way over to the left. Oops, sorry, I'm missing it. There we go. Let me zoom out. Okay. We got these little screws here. We're going to switch to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Alright, wireless card screw. SSD screw. Okay, switch back to the PH0 or JS0. Screw here. Alright, get the fan, put that back into place, get the connector, line it up, pinch the two together, make sure the fan is in place. The fan, you have to get this metal piece underneath. Okay. Alright, get that screw in. Get the last screw here in. And we got the batteries. Alright, let's get the battery in. So again, the speaker cables are supposed to be on top. Make sure you line up these little notches for the battery here, here. Alright, there's one underneath here. Grab the speaker cable, make sure it ends up on top. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put back the same screws. Again, there's supposed to be a plastic thing holding this here, but it's broken, so just put that anyways. Alright, got the one screw. Hopefully, oops, hopefully you're able to see. There, so I put this screw here. Again, the plastic, there's supposed to be some plastic over there to hold the battery in place, but it's broken. Got another screw here. And the last screw down here. Let's go ahead and guide the speaker cables into these notches like they're supposed to be. And then plug this in. Okay, just like that. Let's go ahead and do the other one. Get that speaker lined up. And push that into place. And you can go ahead and tape this down as well. Alright, and the last thing, battery connector here. So make sure everything else is connected properly. Alright, and let's go ahead and plug in the battery connector here. Pinch them in together. Let's get this cover, put this back on. So the bottom cover has these little clips in it, so you're going to put the bottom side in first. Make sure that's all lined up. Okay, and then slowly work our way up here. This part you have to pull back slightly. Okay, so what I do is I get my fingers in here so that when I push this, it bows it upwards. Okay, and then that can get that in place. Same thing with this one, just like that. Okay, and then this side is kind of the difficult part because of the clip here that you have to kind of pull this back to get that in. So I just use my tool here to go ahead and pry it back over the other way, just like that, and there we go. Now we got everything back in place. I'm gonna wait to put back the screws. I'm gonna turn it on first. let's open this up, hold the screen in place so it doesn't fall out. Again, we put the tape there to help with that. Right, let's power it up. Okay, the power light is on. I see the HP logo, that's a good sign. It's booting up. So I'm gonna put this out of view just in case. Then the hardest part after this is making sure that when you drop it down, that it stays in place. So the touchscreen is working. Let me see if I can show this. Brighten it up. Okay, power button works, shut down anyways. Right, so power button is working. So now all we got to do is peel up the red adhesive protective layers and then stick down the whole screen. All right, this part is somewhat tricky because if you accidentally drop the screen down wrong, then you're gonna have some issues. So you're gonna have to make sure here. All right, wait till it turns off. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and flip this over this way completely. We're gonna peel off these pieces of tape that we're using to hold it in place. So peel that up. All right, peel this one up as well. Okay, all right. So again, the tricky part is we're gonna have to keep all of this from sticking down until we're 100% sure. Okay, so we're gonna slowly lift this up. Again, it shouldn't be stuck down here, so there's a little bit of stuff holding it. We're gonna pull the screen slightly up and out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna have to keep holding all of this up while we're doing this. Make sure back here looks okay. All right, so let's see if we can pull this back out. I think that touch board has that little adhesive that's holding it in place. So let's try and pull it up this direction. Oh no. Okay, that adhesive is holding it, so what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to be very careful here. I'm going to peel up this first. Okay, I'm gonna use the tweezers for that. So I have to kind of keep holding this up. So it's gonna help if I use some of these to kind of just keep it from resting down on the adhesive. Okay. Put that on both sides. Okay, and that raises that up above so it's not sticking down. Now we're going to go ahead and peel the red protective layer off. Oh man, all these parts of this repair are so tricky. Okay, peel that out. Okay, this one's thinner one, so it should be easier. Peel that out. And peel this one out. A little tricky trying to remove this without having it stick down when you're not ready. Okay, peel that all out. All right, so now that we got that, we're gonna go ahead and try and pull this down slightly. Get it into that corner there. Same thing with the other side, get it in that corner. Okay, you wanna be very careful again, because once you let this go, it's gonna be stuck into place. So we're going to right now hold this up. Let's go ahead and turn this back on. Make sure it's working. Okay, you can see the screen is on. I am going to have to hold this out of view when I go to restart it because the username, or actually I'll just do it, cover it this way. Okay, touchscreen still working, that's good. And then we're gonna go ahead and push the shutdown button here. Okay, so while we're holding this up, waiting for it to shut down. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and peel up all the rest of the adhesive protective layers. So Gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, cut that side. Cut that side, and then we're gonna get the two up here. I need to get some tweezers with the teeth, the serrated teeth, for better grip for stuff like this. Here we go. Alright, so we got all the protective stuff off. Make sure that you keep the corner edges lined up and push down. Slowly drop it down. Make sure that all the edges line up, because once you let go, you're gonna be screwed if it's out of line. Alright, there we go, and there we go. Alright, so we got everything all in place. There's no way this is gonna come out, and we should be good to go. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Let's go ahead and put back the screws. If it did, of course, like, subscribe, share my channel with others. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this stuff. If this video helped you save a bunch of money, please consider throwing a little my way. Every little bit helps, even $1. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and put all of this stuff away. We're done with all these adhesive tapes. Make sure you put your adhesive tapes back properly. Okay, and then we'll just put the screws back in. So this repair took me more than 2 hours to do. Pretty crazy. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and put back all the T5 Torx 5 screws. Okay. They are missing one of these longer ones. I'll see if I have a screw that matches that so I can replace the one that they're missing there. Okay. Those two screws. The rest all look to be about the same. Only those corner ones, because they also hold the hinge in place, are really small or much longer. Okay, there we go. You might have a screw that's similar in size, but I don't think it's going to be a T5. So let's see here what we got. Alright. Got all these screws here. This is one of those thinner ones. I don't want it to be too long. Yeah, I don't think I have one that's exactly the same. This one might work, but no, that won't work. Possibly. Let's try actually. Is this also T5? Yep. Too short. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to use some mismatched screw that's not gonna look the same. That one's also somewhat shorter. Might be close enough. Alright, let's see here. This one is using a PH1. Let's see if I can replace that screw. Nope. Okay, let's actually try a longer one. So one of these might work. Okay, it's a little bit longer, but because the screw's bigger, it's not gonna go into this groove. So that should work. Perfect. Alright, and put in the last screw. But that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, let's drop this thing. Bye.